When you first get started with strength training, there's a very good chance you wind up wandering around the gym, and all of a sudden you're jumping around the gym, you're doing a bunch of exercises, and you don't really have a plan. Now that's gonna undercut your gains, but here's the thing, if you can create a plan, and if you have an idea of exactly what you wanna lift, there's so much potential here. When you get started in the gym, you're gonna pick up muscle fast, you're gonna pick up strength fast, because you're gonna learn all the pieces that you need to early on, and we're gonna teach you how to do that now. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go over my 4 favorite exercises for beginners. These are the exercises that will lay the foundation and teach you everything you need to do in the gym, and they're gonna help you get strong really fast too, because again, one of the best things about being a beginner is we can get strong and we can put on muscle very quickly and efficiently. So exercise number 1 we want to master as beginners, the incline row. And that's because we have to master this idea of squeezing our shoulder blades and pulling our shoulders back. So if you're going to the gym for a visual look, if we're going for that aesthetic, a lot of times we think we have to bench press, and that's the first exercise we need to do. That's actually wrong. If I bench press too much, my shoulders wind up here and I walk around like this. That's just not a good look. What we want to do is learn to squeeze our shoulder blades and pull our chest open, and we learn to do that when we do any row exercise. The other key thing we get out of any row exercise is we get into this good posture that's going to allow us to do our biceps curls better, our shoulder presses. Just about any exercise we do is better once we learn to squeeze our shoulder blades. We're going to learn that on the incline row, which is superior to exercises like a dumbbell row or a barbell row when you're starting out, because we don't have any lower back stress and because we can really focus on pausing and squeezing at the top of every single rep. So think about doing the incline row, especially when you start, at least 3 times a week. Think about going for 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps and really feel a good squeeze on top. The weight doesn't have to be heavy to start, but once you master the exercise, you're going to be able to push it on this. The second exercise we want to master is something called the Romanian Deadlift, and that's because it's going to teach us 2 things. 1, this is a basic fundamental act, the deadlift. We're picking something up off the ground, and we have to learn how to do that correctly. And 2, on all of our leg exercises, whether we want to get really good at squats or lunges or deadlifts, we have to understand the concept called the hip hinge. Now the hip hinge is basically this idea that when I bend down, I'm not just simply going to bend forward at the waist, but I'm gonna push my butt back as I bend forward. That keeps me in balance, and that also engages my hamstrings and glutes, which are 2 of my largest muscle groups. Those are also 2 of the largest muscle groups you have that you can really layer serious muscle and strength onto, and they're gonna be engines for all of your power. Now we could start with a standard deadlift from the ground, but that is not the best way to understand the hip hinge. What we've got to do is really start not from the ground, but with the weights at our hips. We can do this with dumbbells, or we can do this with a barbell, or we can do this with kettlebells. And then all we do from there is we push our butt back with as slowly as we can, keep those dumbbells close to our hips and lower as far as we can where we feel good tightness in our hamstrings, then we stand back up. Now, why I like this better than the standard deadlift for you is because it's more personal. You're gonna get a chance to figure out your hinge and to see how far you can push your butt back. Once you stop pushing your butt back, that's when the motion is over. So it's a really highly personal way to start to activate those hamstrings and glutes. And once you've mastered this, you'll be able to graduate to trap bar deadlifts and a lot more powerful lifts, but you'll always keep the Romanian deadlift in your routine. Third thing we want to master is something called the farmer's carry. A lot of ideas here. The farmer's carry, the farmer's walk, the farmer's march. The thing they all have in common is the idea that you're just going to pick up something heavy. That's why you're in the gym in the first place, right? Because you want to pick up something heavy. So with the farmer's walk or the farmer's carry, we're going to pick up the largest load that we can, and we're just going to walk with it, or we're going to march, or we're going to walk in place with it for 30 to 40 seconds. We'll do 3 to 4 sets of that. This is starting to condition your body in a couple ways. First of all, it's starting to ready your body to lift heavy loads. Once we get to the farmer's carry, you can aim to pick up the heaviest thing you can handle and just walk with it. That teaches your body how to manage something heavy. We're also gonna get a lot of postural benefit out of it that's gonna translate to our other exercises. We get to squeeze our shoulder blades, we get to keep our abs nice and tight, and we're gonna build a lot of fundamental grip strength that's gonna help us with our pull-ups, with our biceps curls, and with a lot of the other exercises we're eventually gonna grow into. So think of the farmer's carry as an exercise that you can do almost anytime you're in the gym. It's a great finisher, and the best part of it is that you can always challenge yourself and always pick up the heaviest weights that you can pull off in the gym. And the final exercise we need to master is something called the parallel pause biceps curl. And this is all about mind-muscle connection. Mind-muscle connection is this idea that you're not just going through the motions when you do an exercise, but we want to really feel the muscle that we're working, and we want to appreciate something called time under tension. There's no better way to learn those two things than this curl, and it's gonna give you a chance to hit your arms, which there's a very, very good chance that's the reason you're in the gym anyway. So on the parallel pause biceps curl, we have a lot of people who just go in and they just wind up curling up and down. They're rocking all over the place. They're not feeling their biceps. We address that on this variation because you're gonna curl all the way up. You're gonna lower until your forearms are parallel to the ground, and you're gonna hang out in this position. And two things happen when you're in that position. First off, we're living in this moment where our forearm lever is the longest. It's one of the hardest moments in the biceps curl, and we're not gonna get to avoid it because we're pausing in that moment. And the second thing we get to do is we get to appreciate a secondary function of our biceps. They flex our elbow, but they also rotate that pinky towards the ceiling, an idea called supination. And when we can master that, we're gonna get a really, really good bicep squeeze. That squeeze and that idea that you feel is something you wanna take into every single exercise you do. Whether we're doing bench presses, whether we're doing our rows, whether we're doing squats and lunges, we always wanna feel the muscle that we're working. And once we learn that, and once we learn how that feels on that simple biceps curl, we're gonna be able to translate that to all of our other exercises. And we're gonna get to grow some serious biceps too. So get all 4 of these exercises in your workouts if you're just getting started. It's a lot better than just going to the gym and having no clue what you're gonna do. And on top of that, you'll look like you know what you're doing in the gym too.